All right, could you tell us who you are and where we know you from?
I'm LSB, and I guess know you from the Pro Tour, maybe doing some commentary, maybe drafting on Channel Fireball.
My name is Roberto Gonzalez, and you should know me because I'm that poor soul who finished 9th at the P2.
Christian Calcano, I'm a pro Magic player.
GP champion.
GP Minneapolis champion.
I'm Charles Kindy, and I'm Pro Tour Hollywood champion.
I am William Jensen. I used to be kind of top-level pro, Magic pro. Just getting back into it. I came back about 6 months ago, so I would hope you've seen me around. I know you have.
Hey, I'm Josh Layton. You know me from Channel Fireball and doing well in
some tournaments
recently.
Championship?
I did win a U.S. National Championship. That was a long time ago, though.
I'm Sam Black. Do you want to know how you know me or how...
All of us.
All of you. I don't know that you all know me. I mean, if you did, I wouldn't be saying my name. But I'm a writer for Star City Games and professional Magic player.
My name is Patrick Sullivan, and you probably know me most from my commentary gig with Star City Games. I'm a has-been / never was pro from about 8 years ago, and I do the occasional column for Star City as well.
Sweet, I heard you like red decks too.
I do have I'm a red deck aficionado, yes.
I'm Brian Kibler. You know me from, the world.
Conley Woods. I don't know where Channel Fireball, TCG player.
What are you known for?
Building Magic decks.
Sweet. Could you tell us who you are and your Magic accomplishments in like 7 words or less?
Owen Turtenwald, Player of the Year. Sweet.
Ben Stark, 4 Pro Tour top 8s, 1 GP Indy.
And what would you say is the worst limited card, the worst Gatecrash card you've ever played in limited?
The worst Gatecrash card I've ever played in limited.
You've actually resolved or put on the stack in any way.
That I've used. Scatter Arc is not the best card. Exclude target non-creature for 4 mana and draw a card. It's really only a sideboard card. It's not efficient.
Furious Defenses, or the red card that gives creature +5 in first strike. The defending creature, whatever it is, blocking. That card's terrible, and I'm ashamed to even play it in my deck.
Honestly, like the Foundry Street Denizen.
The 1/1 for 1?
Yeah, like it's just been so bad for me every time. So probably the worst one.
The worst card that I played in Gatecrash Limited, the one where they sack a artifact and a land and take 2 damage. Isn't that what it does? Yeah, they had I had no playables.
How did it work out for you?
Didn't do anything. It dealt him 2 damage. It's terrible. It's just as bad as you think it is.
Riot Gear.
And how was it for you?
It's bad. I mean,
but how'd that game go?
I've played it a few times. I have it in my deck today, so.
Probably like the 4th Spire Tracer. It's probably, the 4th Spire Tracer deck, with nothing really to do with them, just playing them for value.
And how did that deck do for you?
I believe it was an 03. Very quick 03.
Illusionist Bracers.
What exactly did you do with that?
I equipped it to my Undercity Informer and ended 1 mana short of killing my opponent by decking him by sacrificing creatures to mill him until he has 2 lands.
The Whip. The tap to deal 1 to a player. I don't exactly know the full name, but 2 mana artifact, tap into 1, deal 1 to a player.
And how did the Razor Tip Whip do for you?
Well, I lost game 1 to his Wrath, the 6 mana Wrath, and so I brought it in to sort of hedge a little bit against the Wrath, and it pinged him twice, but I was done in by Treasury Thrall or some other big dude he had.
I once accidentally put a Hold the Gates in my deck when I was playing on Magic Online, and it's not that necessarily it was a terrible card, but I didn't even mean for it to be in my deck, and then I drew it and it won me the game because I had like a Zarichi Tiger attacking and giving me life, and I won like a very narrow race.
Have you ran it back since then?
I actually intentionally put it in a deck that had like 3 gates that assembled the Legion, which was pretty sweet. So I just had all these 3 toughness guys were coming out every turn. It was kind of cool.
Probably the the 1 mana green enchantment that puts +1/+1 counters on your guys. Force Nature or whatever.
Yeah, how'd it work for you?
It was good. I put on a Spire Tracer. Beat down. Why? Is that a bad answer?
I'm splashing for a Balustrade Spy. That's my 5th color.
Try to picture anything Luis has ever played.
Yeah, that's a good way to do it. I think I played the 6 mana 7/6 red green guy once. That guy's horrible in this format. I probably played something worse than that. Nothing's really coming to mind, but that guy's really terrible. Like random generic big creature is just awful in this format.
What would you say is the worst card what is the most embarrassing you've ever seen Brian Kibler in Constructed?
The most
thing for him to try.
The most embarrassing thing that he's ever tried. I mean, it's hard to tell because every time I see Kilber play, he's playing mana elves and 3-drops and 4-drops. And it's just always like that. So all the cards kind of blur together for me.
What is the most embarrassing deck you've ever seen John Finkel play?
Ooh, I need a second.
Even just in testing.
Oh, geez. John actually played a deck I built once in Worlds and Extended with like all boomerangs and Ophidians. It had like Ophidians, 2-mana lands, Thieving Magpies, and boomerangs. I think he needed to go like 3 and 3 to make top 8 and went like 2 and 4 or something. There was a game where he got very unlucky against, it was one of the Ruels, I think, I forget which. Like, they had to double Curse Scroll with 2 cards on upkeep, and if he missed either one, John would win, but he hit his 25%er.
All right, what is the worst deck you've ever seen Luis Galvargas play, whether it's in a tournament or just in testing, in Constructed?
Oh god, there's so many good ones. So as far as in Pro Tours, probably the green-white deck he played in PT Hollywood, that's got to be up there. That deck was abysmal. His plan was to play 5-drops and equip them with Warhammers, in a format where there was Cryptic Command and Ancestral Visions and Bitter Blossom. You could play those cards all in the same deck, with perfect mana. There was the deck where we played in Honolulu, where we were playing a main deck Progenitus, where our deck's plan was to actually just cast Progenitus. That was what we were trying to do. That was pretty embarrassing. In testing, I guess the most recent Pro Tour, he built a nice little unexpected results deck, and well, it kind of had the expected results from that deck.
And what is the worst deck you've ever seen Brian Kibler play, whether in a tournament or just in playtesting?
So I'm glad you asked me this. So back when he was trying to get back onto the PT and playing in PTQs, this was Lorwyn Block Constructed. And so he's working on a Doran deck, and he knows that I was working on red, like whatever the red deck in the format was. And he was playing the 1/5 for 2, the green and the white, just the 1/5 blank for green-white, because it's a combo with Doran. And he actually had the gall to invite me over to his house to playtest against his Doran 1/5 for 2 deck when he knew I only had mono red. So that was the worst deck he's ever worked on, and he wasted so much of my time and patience jamming games of it too. It's like, yeah, the 1/5 was good against my mono red deck. It's true, yeah.
All right, and what is the worst deck you've ever seen Ben Rubin play, whether in a tournament or just in playtesting?
Like the sheer quantity of horrible decks that I played against Ben Rubin that he's played against me, I can't even like think of. I'm overwhelmed, really. Like,
how about Luis recently?
Luis actually played me with an unexpected results, like Borgaboramos, Omniscience, ridiculous deck, and the results were in fact expected because he lost every single game.
All right, what's the worst deck you've ever seen Brian Kibler play in a tournament or in playtesting?
Definitely the deck he played in Singapore. It was, what was it called? It was this terrible Metalcraft deck with like Etch Champion and stuff, and he convinced everyone else to play it, and they all bombed out. It was bad.
You're talking about the tournament right after you guys invented Callblade?
Yes. Right before.
What's the worst deck you've ever seen Reed Duke play in a tournament or in testing?
Jeez, Reed Duke has played some pretty bad decks. The worst he's ever played? It had to be the deck you guys played at Barcelona.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
What's the worst deck you've ever seen Luis play in either a tournament or just playtesting in Constructed?
In Constructed? He tries to brew like a lot of random control decks, and sometimes they're cool, but sometimes they're really, really bad. I mean, we had for Nagoya this like blue-white control deck. It was really bad. I mean, we couldn't beat anything. Me and him both were trying to make it work the whole time because we didn't want to play Tempered Steel, but it really couldn't beat anything.
All right, thank you much.